When he walked out that night, I did not run after him. I did not scream. I did not beg. I just stood there, holding the edge of the kitchen counter, listening to the sound of the front door closing. It was strange. After 23 years of marriage, I thought the worst thing that could happen to me was losing him, but I was wrong. The worst thing was realizing he could leave. At the one moment I needed him to stay. It was raining outside, a soft, steady rain, the kind that taps gently on the windows like it is trying to say something. The house felt bigger than it ever had before. Empty, quiet, and I remember thinking, how did we get here? Because we were not always like this. We used to laugh in this same kitchen. We used to sit at the same table. We used to dream about growing old together. But that night, he looked at me like I was a burden. And that is something I will never forget, Dos. My name is Layla. I was 24 when I married him. His name is Kareem. We did not have a big wedding, just close families, simple food, and borrowed decorations. But we were happy, at least I believed we were. Kareem was quiet, not cold, just quiet. He was the kind of man who worked hard and spoke little. He believed love did not need many words. He showed it through responsibility, through providing, through fixing broken things around the house. And I accepted that because I was the opposite. I talked a lot. I laughed loudly. I liked sitting close and holding hands. But marriage teaches you something important. It teaches you how to meet in the middle. And for many years, we did. We had 2 children, a son first, then a daughter 3 years later. Those were my happiest years. The house was always messy. Toys on the floor, dishes in the sink, laundry waiting to be folded. But my heart was full. Every night when Kareem came home from work, the children would run to him. "Baba!" they would shout. And he would smile, a small smile, but real. Sometimes, after the children were asleep, I would sit beside him on the couch. I would rest my head on his shoulder. And even if he did not say much, I felt safe. That is the word I always used for him. Safe. Things do not fall apart in one day. They change slowly.
So slowly you almost do not notice. Our son left for university first. Then our daughter got married 2 years later. The house became quiet again. Too quiet. At first, I thought it would bring us closer. Just the 2 of us again. But silence can be dangerous. When children are around, there is always something to talk about. School, homework, bills, plans. When they leave, you are left with each other. And sometimes, you realize you do not know each other as well as you thought. Kareem started coming home later. Work is busy, he would say. I believed him. I wanted to believe him. I began to feel tired more often. My body felt heavy. I would wake up with headaches. I thought it was just age, but then the doctor told me something that made my hands shake. "You need treatment," he said gently. I remember sitting there, staring at the wall behind him. Treatment. That word felt heavy. I did not cry in front of the doctor. I waited until I got to the car. Then I just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, trying to breathe. When I told Kareem that evening, he did not react the way I expected. He did not hold me. He did not ask many questions. He just nodded. "So what happens now?" he asked. I explained what the doctor said. The tests, the hospital visits, the possibility of surgery. He rubbed his forehead. "That sounds expensive," he said quietly. I know he did not mean to hurt me, but in that moment, I did not need numbers. I needed comfort. The treatments began the following month. Hospital walls are all the same color, pale, cold. The chairs are uncomfortable. The air smells like medicine and fear. At first, Kareem came with me. He would sit beside me, scrolling through his phone. He did not complain, but he was distant. After a few weeks, he said, "You can go with your sister next time. I cannot keep missing work." I nodded. I understood. Or at least, I told myself I did. The side effects were hard. I lost weight. My hair started falling out slowly. Strands at first, then more. One morning, I stood in front of the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back at me. I looked smaller, softer, fragile. That was the first time I felt afraid of losing myself. Not just my health, myself. One night, I made his favorite soup. It took all my energy. My hands were shaking, but I wanted to feel normal again. When he came home, he looked surprised. "You did not have to cook," he said. "I wanted to," I replied with a smile. We sat down at the table, the same table where our children once laughed. But now, only the sound of spoons touching bowls filled the room. After a few minutes, he said, "You look very tired." I laughed softly. "I am tired." He sighed. "This is hard." I looked at him. "Yes," I said, "it is." But we were not talking about the same thing. The argument was not loud. That is something people never understand. Big endings do not always come with shouting. Sometimes they come quietly. It was late. I had just returned from another long day at the hospital. I felt weak. My body hurt. My heart hurt more. Kareem was sitting in the living room, staring at the television that was not even turned on. "We need to talk," he said. My stomach tightened. He looked older that night, tired, frustrated. "I cannot do this anymore," he said softly. At first, I thought he meant the treatments, the hospital trips. "We will get through it," I said quickly. "It will not last forever." But he shook his head. "I feel trapped," he whispered. Trapped. That word echoed inside me. "I did not choose this," I said quietly. "I know," he replied, "but I am drowning too." I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask him how he could talk about drowning when I was the one fighting to breathe. But I did not. I just stared at him, and then he stood up. "I am going to stay with my brother for a while," he said. "For how long?" I asked. He did not answer. He picked up a small bag he had already packed. That hurt the most. He had planned it. The rain outside grew heavier, and then the door closed.